This was the busy season for tourism in Texas, as all the schools in the state were on spring break. We were very fortunate to be able to find a campsite in the park at Rio Grande Village. This is upstream that we're facing here. We're at the southeast portion of the park. Of course, this is the Rio Grande River. We have some Mexicans on the other side of the river. Upstream a little way, there's a crossing. And people cross either by boat or actually walk across. There's border guards there, of course. And going downstream. The river takes a bend right here. So, where are you, kiddo?
Willis Overlook?
Yeah, except I think it's Paquita, but I'm not positive.
Willis Canyon Overlook.
Yeah. In what park? Big Bend.
Big Bend National Park.
That's right. In the evening, we began our first hike. It would eventually take us down by the river. When Native Americans lived in this area many years ago, they would manually grind their corn in holes in the rock. Okay, we're down by the Rio Grande River. Looks like across the river there in Mexico, we've got a stream coming in by the canoe. And there's a couple of burros over there. Actually, I think there's 4 of them over there. This kind of makes a person wonder if this isn't a human smuggling site. And this is about as green as what we're going to see it here in Big Bend National Park, down by the river. These roots can actually get some water. This is a sheer rock wall on the U.S. side of the river, leading up to the Narrows, which is a slot carved through the rock on both sides of the river. This is the Narrows. The Rio Grande cuts in through this large escarpment here. The Narrows. Whoa, what an adventurer. I guess this must be sandstone, huh? With all the sand I'm getting in my shoes now.
Like they have boots on.
Well, what time is it, Bonnie?
7:40. Oh, 7:53.
So it's almost 8 o'clock at night. What's today's date?
The 17th. March 17th.
Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, huh? Yeah, it would be better to have sunlight shining on these. That's where we were earlier, where the Narrows is located. We are in Hot Springs Trail. It's a 6-mile loop. We're just going to go a little ways and then come back. The cottonwood trees up in the upper left-hand corner are there because there used to be a ranch here, and there was irrigation for fruit trees and things like that that were being grown down there. The wind has really picked up on this morning. Last night there were a few tiny drops of rain as we were trying to sleep. We're looking down at the Rio Grande Valley. It's especially green down there because there's some irrigation that's going on. And if we get all the way to the corner here by the mountains here, the rock, that's where the cottonwood trees where we were last night are located. I believe these mountains in the distance are the Chicos Mountains. I think that's where we're going to be headed next. As you can see, it's an awful lot of desert here. This is the Chihuahuan Desert, and most of the area, of course, is not sandy dunes. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any dunes here in this desert. What it is desert pavement. Desert pavement is rocky and gravel. And of course it's not sandy because the wind blows it away. And there's an awful lot of limestone in this area. So you're not going to get a lot of sand anyhow because of the limestone base. This is the dugout wells area where a settler found a spring and he dug it out and put in a windmill to get a lot of water. So there's water near the surface, so we have all kinds of different plants growing here that would not be growing anyplace else in this desert. As a result, there's significantly more wildlife in this area that usually come here for the water. Actually, as we were driving in, we actually drove through some small puddles across the road. This is a nice little cooler picnic area because of the shade from these cottonwood trees. So there has to be water near the surface here. And just to the right of this oasis, desert. goodness. The whole stem is nothing but thorns. It's kind of like a desert garden. We are in a dry wash right now, or an arroyo. And as a result, the water is closer to the surface of the earth. And you have more leaf-bearing plants in this area. Well, here we have a cactus that is just about ready to fully bloom. I have a couple open blooms here, of course. But look at all of them on top there. I guess we got here just a little bit too early this year. If I'm pronouncing it right, these are the Chicos Mountains. And we're headed toward some hiking trails in this mountain region. These are volcanic rock mountains, probably granite, but I don't know that for sure. This is called Window View. Yeah, we got some wind blowing, don't we? Well, here's the picture of the window from a hiking trail. We're taking a 1.6 mile loop. And this area, of course, because we're higher, gets more precipitation and allows trees to grow. And there we've done a 360. Turkey vultures. Yes, this trail is 2.2 miles round trip. Grapevine Hills. It's a hike of 1.2 miles round trip. Take that back, 2.2 round trip. And I'm pretty sure that's the direction we're going. And there it is, balanced rock.
Oh.
I believe these are the remains of the walls of the house or one of the buildings of the farmstead. At least there was a path coming back into this off the main path. The windmill is still working and pumping water so that these trees down here can actually live and survive in this climate. So a working windmill. And the bees really like this area. They're all over the place. This is a little bit of water that that windmill is bringing out. Just a trickle. And here's what's left over of the adobe walls of the homesteaders or ranchers' house.
Inside.
Pretty good sized house. It was abandoned in 1945, so. Monday morning, we're on our way out of the park, but they have these exhibits along the highway where they have little pull-offs. This one extends back a ways, so I'm not sure where it goes or what it does, but we'll find out here, I would assume, in a little bit. So this trail, this short trail off the road is taking us back to a desert. The homesteaders were here, and actually a woman produced a number of children, 3 I think, and then she died at age 29 during her pregnancy, and her grave is over here. She asked to be buried near where she would read to the children. And at the time there were cottonwood trees back in here that she would sit under in the shade and read to her children. The placard also mentioned that there's a lot of other things similar to this in the region, but the desert had just reclaimed it, and they are unknown. It's known that they're someplace, but they've been lost. Nina's gravesite is right next to this huge wash, deep wash, just right over the edge here. Looks like it gets some significant water flow during thunderstorms. On the way back to the car from the gravesite, I stopped to take a picture of this cactus. Our second to the last stop as we left the national park was at the Fossil Discovery Exhibit located here. Below is the Fossil Discovery Exhibit building and the low plains area where dinosaur bones were discovered and excavated. Here's another significant dry wash or arroyo, and just reading the sign here by this bridge, it is mentioned that the bridge has been washed out a number of times by flash floods. And of course you get these powerful thunderstorms in the summertime, and storms, of course, rain falls in the mountains. There's nothing to hold the water, and down it comes, washing through many, many arroyos or dry washes.